I would say they shouldn't hold back if offered. No one's going to recommend you do something if they really don't think you can. And for them to say, hey, would you like to take this task on, to see this challenging patient, or to be involved in this procedure, or to come in at 5 a.m, or to take call this weekend. Boy, think twice before you say, yeah, I'm not sure that's not going to fit me, or I'd like to get more experience with you before I do that, because they believe in you and they wouldn't offer it if they didn't think you were up for that. So I'd be really, in those first few days, really try to be agreeable and willing to step out. And even if that means interrupting your schedule a little bit, or going a little bit extra besides what you were planning to be willing to do that at the front gate is really helpful, rather than you initially already saying, yeah, no, I have to leave at this certain time, or I'm not comfortable in that environment. You don't want to hide behind those things. But just remember, when you then do have to maybe get into an environment that isn't quite your comfort zone, then get some help. And there's people around you that can help. So be very careful. We can talk about that more fully, but there's always going to be somebody around who you could pull aside to say, hey, would you just check me on this, or can you talk me through how this place likes to see this done? And then I'm happy to do it. Just a little word, or have someone alongside of you. But for you to admit to say, no, I'm not comfortable with that, boy, that doesn't sit well. Doesn't feel good for you. Doesn't feel good unless you're really invited for that. You know, the employer may say, are you comfortable with this? We'll be honest. But if at all, try to say, yeah, I'm willing to try. I'm willing to work on that. I'm going to do that, and then make sure you have the support around you to do it well.
What other things shouldn't you not be doing when you first arrive?
Yeah, don't be late. Be early. Be willing to show that you're there for the extra mile. Later on, you may want to put some boundaries around that. But initially, you want to be the go-getter, and you want to be the person that everybody recognizes, hey, I can ask them. And allow that to be your reputation up front to begin with.
What other things have you seen in your career? You know, you select that PA, you're all excited for them to start, and then now they're on board and they're doing something, and you're like, oh my God, I can't believe that this person has done this.
It's really out of my own personal story, where it was actually my second job, but new on the job. I had sewed up a guy's wrist from a laceration that he suffered putting his hand through a mirror. And when he returned for the suture removal, he went to his physician for that. And there was a piece of glass that I had missed. And I thought I'd looked at it well, and I thought everything was taken care of. But the physician found a piece of glass in there and had to come to me and say, just thought you should know that this happened. And my heart just sinks. And there's so many things my mind wants to circle around to. Is there any way that's a mistake? Is there any way that I can explain why that could have happened? But then I realized, Huckabee, you just missed it. And you're at fault here. But it is an error that can happen. It's not, and the physician helped me with that, to say this isn't the end of the world. But I need to be sure you're aware of this, and want to be sure you're being careful with that. That was really a hard lesson for me. And I was harder on myself than probably needed to be. The issue then is, I didn't want to be on call again by myself. I didn't want to take the responsibility with that. And I had to kind of get over myself to say, but I know how to do this, and I know how to look at that. And I don't know what size the fragment was. Maybe it was so small. I don't know. We didn't go into the details with it. But to be resilient, I think, is really important. That if you face an obstacle, you got to own that. And you got to, so seeking that feedback, it would have been better for me to have to find that out by my asking rather than someone coming to me. That would have been an unusual situation. But maybe it would be a great idea to stop maybe a few days in or a week into the job and say, hey, can I have 5 minutes at the end of your day? And I'd like you just to tell me how you think I'm doing. And what's anything going on that you'd like me to explore and be sure I'm doing well. I will bet they'll always have something to offer you. It's a great question to ask. It shows your ability to want to contribute to the team, but also shows your humility of I'm understanding it may not be a perfect world yet. And so can you help me with that? And it allows you to initiate that conversation so somebody didn't have to initiate with you.